Hello, everyone. This is author, motivational speaker, and dating coach Matthew C. Horne. And I bring you a video tonight titled The Sex Symbol Man and His Unwavering Words. I got one for you tonight. But before we go any further, always know my videos in the dating space. They're inspired by my books, How to Get Beautiful Women and Everything Else You Want from Life, in addition to How to Be Appealing to Successful Black Men for Black Women. They're both available on my website, www.matthewchorne.com. Get your copies. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and to continue to push me with the algorithm so I can continue to bring you these elevated messages. As always, we're getting right to it. The sex symbol man and his unwavering words. This video came about because of the pretenders out here, the men that try to project themselves and advertise themselves as sexy, attractive men who are sex symbols versus the men who actually are sex symbols. There's a stark contrast, and this needs to be examined if you're going to make your way to the side of being an authentic sex symbol that attracts women who speak to him in straight lines, who don't see a need to talk to him in a fashion that indicates anything other than lust and desire. There's a stark contrast between the two. And I've had the luxury of having some attributes and having some disciplines, as I was growing up to where I am now, that I was labeled a sex symbol. And so I'm speaking to you from the vantage point of being a sex symbol and what it takes to become that. And there were various phases of my life, from being a star basketball player in high school to being 6'5" ever since I was 15 years old, to graduating, writing books, being on stages, traveling across the world, utilizing my gifts, being in shape, keeping myself looking good. So I can speak to you from the vantage point of a sex symbol. And I know the imitators versus the men that are actually sex symbols. And the majority of men, based on ego, are going to project themselves as sex symbols, but they're really simps. They really do a lot of stuff that they don't tell you about. They overextend themselves to women. They take women on endless dates. They give women endless offerings just to get a whiff of that pootie. And then a lot of these men, in addition to that, they're just going to flat out lie. And that's one thing I can say, being a solidified sex symbol, is a lot of the guys that I'm around, they can see authenticity and they try to replicate it in their words, but their actions and their movements are not congruent with their words. So essentially, I'm trying to say I see a lot of lying motherfuckers around me. But being an actual sex symbol, I can see through the lies. I can see through them, and I'll tell you how I can see through them. Okay, my favorite show of all time is The Wire, and there was a scene where the most vicious killer on the show, Chris Partlow, approached Bodie. And let me give the backstory to this scene right here, okay? But Bodie was with Avon Barksdale, the most vicious drug crew in Baltimore. And the Barksdale organization folded just based on people going to jail and wars and beefs in the street and all that kind of stuff. So Bodie was a part of that crew. And Bodie ended up going out on his own. But when he went out on his own, he built up a corner. He was an independent. He was naked out there. No muscle, no protection, no organization behind him. But he was vicious. He was fierce, as they say in Baltimore. But he didn't have an organization behind him. So Bodie went out, built up a strip, and he was getting his dope from a Proposition Joe. And he was an independent once again. And so the new muscle in town, the new major player, was Marlo Stanfield. And Marlo saw that Bodie built up his strip. And Bodie and Marlo wanted that strip. And Bodie had no muscle behind him. So Marlo sent his muscle, the most vicious killer on the show, Chris Partlow, and Snoop. He sent his most vicious enforcers to approach Bodie and basically say, listen, man, you gonna work for us on this corner and give us some money? and take our watered down dope, or we gonna kill you, or you want to step up off this corner. They gave him a very succinct ultimatum. In this particular scene, they came back to say, "What is your decision?" He was on this corner, and Chris Partlow and Snoop was basically like, "What's your decision?" And Bodie was just like, "Well, I guess I don't have a choice. I got to take your package now. I got to work for you all." And then there was a young guy named Michael that worked under Bodie back when he was with the Marlo Stans. I mean the Avon Barksdale organization. And this guy was an up and comer. He was real poor. He was like in middle school, but he was fierce. He was natural, as far as the drug dealing and being able to handle himself. So Bodie kind of began to mold this guy, but Michael didn't really want that much in the game. He just wanted to make some money to get some school clothes and just get a little bit of extra money. And so that was the extent of their relationship. But Bodie really wanted Michael to work for him. He begged him, asked him not to go to school and all that kind of stuff, man. So, but the Marlo Stansfield organization saw Michael, and they knew he was an up and coming young star in the dope game. And so, after they forced Bodie to make a decision, they asked Bodie about Michael, and they asked like, "Yeah, what's up with your young boy?" And Bodie was just like, what's up with that? Why you want to know?" And Chris Partlow said, "Why isn't it in your repertoire no more, nigga?" Basically, you work for another organization that had leniency, you could question them. But this organization, we run a tight ship. You taking our package, be lucky you're alive. Chris Partlow said, "Why ain't in your repertoire no more, nigga?" And shut it down right there. And him and Snoop walked off. And so Bodie had a new set of rules for the new people that he was working for. But that brings me to my point. I know the false sexy attractive man, the false sex symbol, by the repertoire of the words that he uses. Because when you're a sexy attractive man, you don't have a repertoire of words. When you're a sex symbol, you don't have a repertoire of words because every woman must get in line. And so anything outside of pure lust and desire, a true sex symbol is not going to entertain that rhetoric from that woman. And so I see these weak men pervading and projecting themselves to be sexually attractive sex symbols. They say, "Oh, I don't deal with this," because they see how I move. "I don't deal with this. I don't put up with this." But then the woman disrespects them and they right back in her space. "Oh man, but she got some good pussy though." Weak motherfuckers that swear they sex symbols, but they really simps. And I can tell a simp by very distinctive language. They have language within the repertoire of their words that exposes the actuality of who they are, simps, versus who they're projecting themselves to be as sex symbols. Niggas that got bitches in how they term it, how they verbalize it. And I can see right through it. But you can't escape the purgatory of simping until you admit that you're a simp and you acknowledge that there is another way. And see, the thing is that you can fool people who don't know if you're a simp, but you can't fool people who are actual sex symbols. You can't fool them because they can look at the repertoire of words, the words that are in your repertoire of language that expose the truth of who you are. And I'm one of those people, I can see right through them. And they're uncomfortable in my presence because they know that they're in the presence of the real, but they're choosing to remain the fake. But every man has the opportunity and the ability to escape simping and come over to the side of being a sex symbol. And your repertoire of words is going to tell the tale of who you really are. And your repertoire of words, the words that are in your repertoire, they don't change because you get around somebody who's an actual sex symbol and start to adapt some of their vocabulary and try to adapt some of their movements. It doesn't change until you change. The repertoire of language of the sex symbol man is crafted and molded by the reality and the consistency of his experiences. Once you become a sex symbol, there is no room for any women in your space, in your vicinity, that are not viewing you as a sexually attractive man and communicating with you and moving with you in that fashion. Once that happens on a consistent basis, then your language changes. There were things that were once upon a time in your repertoire. Oh, I'll wait her out. Oh, I'll lie to her. Oh, I'll tell other men lies to make them think I'm something that I'm not. Once upon a time, that was the repertoire language of a man who is pervading and faking being a sex symbol. But when you transition and you exercise the discipline that it takes to become a sex symbol that's undeniable to every woman, then your language changes. So things that were once in your repertoire of language are abandoned because life is giving you more elevated and better experiences overall and with women. And when that happens, then your language naturally changes. That's what I was trying to, communicate is that you can't adopt language from people who have become what you aspire to be because there's going to be holes in your game. As men around me, they tell me stuff and they forget they tell me stuff and they act like they're moving differently. And then I can remember everything. I can see the holes in their stories. I can see the lies. And I can see that they're enslaved in the purgatory of being a simp while they're trying to project themselves as being the sexy, attractive sex symbol. I can see through it. And it's a purgatory because they're consistently putting themselves in dangerous situations with women who don't want them the same way that they want these women. They eat a lot of shit. They put up with a lot of disrespect. They're like, oh, I'm gonna cut that because men see me cut women off. Beautiful women, gorgeous women, women I've already had sex with. Once they come across, me and they disrespect me, there's no space because they haven't been in my space long enough. There's no space to give them wisdom and elevate them. I just get rid of them, and it keeps my atmosphere smooth. And these men will see that, and women will disrespect them, play games with them, and they'll be like, "Oh man, I'm gonna cut the girl off," and this and that. And next thing you know, they slip up, they say something, and they still messing with that chick. And so that's what I'm trying to explain. You have to actually become a sex symbol by valuing yourself, by working on yourself, having a level of discipline, so that your language, the repertoire that of language, changes. There were words and phrases that you used to use because you used to be a simp. But then once you graduate from that, you get out of that purgatory and you make it to your promised land, then your language is going to change because women are dealing with you differently. And so the progression from being a simp to a sex symbol is a natural progression that has to take place. It has to take place. Your language is going to change organically and naturally. But if you try to change your language before you change, then all you're going to do is manipulate, lie, and do everything else that every other man does to get a piece of that poofy. See, I know a manipulator. I know a false sex symbol when I see him. I know him when I see him because they're in their repertoire of language. They say this: as long as I get the poofy. That means you're going to shapeshift, you're going to manipulate, you're going to become any kind of man that you need to be because you overvalue the pussy above yourself. And that's a man that's stuck in the purgatory of simping who has not tapped into his inner self in order to graduate to actually being a sex symbol, the man that they portray themselves to be versus the man that they actually can become. There's a graduation that has to take place. You have to withstand that drought. See, that's what I love, especially about the men in my group. The conversations are more elevated. The men in my dating coaching community, because they're seeing the rogue nature. They're seeing the rogue nature of women. They're seeing everything that they used to tolerate, and now it doesn't feel comfortable, and they're abandoning the previous rhetoric that they used to exhibit. Their repertoire of language, they've abandoned it because a sexy, attractive sex symbol doesn't have a repertoire of language. He has a straight line of communication. You get in line or you get it gone. And so I can see the growth taking place right in front of my eyes. And I'm proud of everyone who's in my dating coach community. I want you all to sign up because that's the way that you can speed up your growth and your awareness. But I see it clear as day. And things that were once comfortable for them now it's uncomfortable because they realize the lies that they've been told. The matrix has misguided them. They've been taught to overvalue women, and they understand as they elevate and grow that there's another side to women that they never accessed. But now they're accessing the other side of women, the primal side of women, the women who won't play with you when they deem you a sexually attractive man. They're seeing that side and they're realizing that they're abandoning the old man. And so things that were in their repertoire of communication, their words, are no longer present. And that's what I'm offering to you all tonight. That's the whole point of me making this video is if you're a liar, if you're a manipulator, if you're a man with a mindset that I would do anything for that pootie, it's time to graduate and become your best self. To graduate, there's a level of discipline. There's a level of discipline. The discipline is coming to an awareness of women's true nature, elevating yourself enough, falling in love with yourself, giving the best that you have to offer, and understanding that what you're seeing coming back is real. That's when you graduate. When your experiences change, then your consciousness expands. And once your consciousness expands, it can never retract. That's how you graduate from portraying yourself as a sexy, attractive sex symbol and becoming a sex symbol. But it has to be a natural progression. And once you reach that place, see, women, they won't waste their time when they're in the space of an extremely sexy, attractive man who is a sex symbol. They're not even going to waste their time talking anything other than sex because women are watching your blind spots. When a woman meets you, she can deem you as attractive, but then she's seeing things around you that you can't see. She's seeing other women who look just as good as her and better than her checking you out. So when a woman sees you that way, then she can't do anything but get in line. Meaning that she's not going to try to get you to jump through the hoops that like she's going to do other men who are not sex symbols because she knows that they're simps. She's not going to do that. She's going to understand that you are an experience that she wants to have. That's going to dominate her internally. It's going to stimulate her biological and sexual nature and her imperative. And then she's going to communicate with you in a sexual manner. Why? Because she doesn't want to miss the opportunity of being with you as a sex symbol because you're rare. Not many men undertake the discipline that it takes to become a sex symbol. And so when a woman is in the presence of a sex symbol, she understands that there's nothing I can offer this man that's going to make him look better than what he already looks. Meaning that she has no leverage. She sees the other women checking you out. And she knows if she pulls the stunt on you, if she tries to treat you like a simp and put you under submission to her poofy, that she's going to miss the opportunity to be with you because you potentially can just discard her. And she knows it because she's been in the presence of other sex symbols before. She's tried them and they let her go. And there was no re-entry. So that's why she's not going to play with you. And so the rhetoric and the communication is different from women when you become a sex symbol because they don't want to play with themselves. They don't want to block the opportunity of experiencing you. And see, as a sex symbol, the beautiful thing about that is you're not concerned with the next man. See, every man is going to have different attributes. It's going to be perceived that some men have it easier than others, but every man has to undertake an amount of discipline and work to get the outcomes with women that come to you when you become a sex symbol. So you can have a man that's 6'4". You can have a man that has the right looks. But if that man doesn't keep his hair cut, if he doesn't have a style, then he's not going to be deemed as a sex symbol. Even though he has a raw hand to become one, he's not going to be deemed that. The thing that deems any man as a sex symbol is the discipline that it takes to have an awareness of what his best is and enacting the discipline to offer his best to the world. That's a sex symbol right there. And so you can't look at another man and say, he has to work less than I have to work. There's no such thing as more work from man to man. The only thing that's true, the true catalyst to you becoming the sex symbol, is that you understand that every man has his work and your work is your work. Because no two human beings are dealt the same exact hand, gifts, talents, attributes, and abilities. So you have to start taking a look internally and not looking around you. And then you can fall in love with yourself. And then the path to becoming that sex symbol is going to surface, it's going to reveal itself. How does it reveal itself? It's going to reveal the work that you have to do. And the work always implies there's a discipline that you have to undertake. And when you undertake that discipline, now your language is going to change. Certain things were in your repertoire of communication, but you naturally progress. You see all sides of women, you get the best sides of women. Now, all of a sudden, your language changes. You're talking in straight lines. Because if a woman is not on board, she's in the way. Who is she in the way of? The other women that want to give you the experience that you want to have. Women feel that energy. And that's why women get on board and they don't play with sex symbols. Because there's always another more beautiful woman right in her face that's checking you out, willing to give you the outcomes that that you desire to experience. And she knows that. And a sex symbol is a sex symbol because he's in a perpetual state of discipline. He never arrives and he continues to work on himself even when he gets the experiences that he always wanted. He continues to work on himself. He's in a perpetual state of discipline. And what does that evoke? What does that create? A separation between him and the average man. I've said enough. This has been Matthew C. Horne, author, motivational speaker, and dating coach. Bring you a video talking about the sex symbol and his words, man. He doesn't have a repertoire. He only talks in straight lines. You come on board and you get in line or you get lost, man. He has very unique language and become that man. It's brought to you by my books, How to Get Beautiful Women and Everything Else You Want from Life. In addition to How to Be Appealing to Successful Black Men for Black Women. They're both available on my website, www.matthewchorne.com. Get your copies. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and to continue to push with the algorithm so I can continue to bring you these elevated messages. And I hear you all in the comments. You want me to make videos on particular topics that you all are presenting to me. Those are called custom videos. To get a custom video made on your particular topic that you want me to speak on, you have to make a donation of $150 or more to my PayPal and my Cash App information that's in my video description. There's a note feature on PayPal and Cash App that you're going to see after you make your donation. And in the note feature, you put the title of the video that you want me to make and you complete the donation. You make the donation, you make the note, and then you complete the donation on PayPal and Cash App. And then I'll have your video on my channel right here, Matthew C. Horne Dating on YouTube in 24 hours or less. If your subject matter is more nuanced and detailed than just leaving a note on PayPal and Cash App, you still complete your $150 or more donation. You bypass the note feature, you complete the donation, and then you email me at matt@matthewchorne.com with your more nuanced and in-depth description of where you want to make your video on, your custom video. And I will read it, assess it, and I'm going to create some magic for you. Your custom video will be on my channel in 24 hours or less. Get your custom videos. If your thought process have been elevated and you're better for having encountered my message in this video, I want everyone to donate, okay? My donation information, my PayPal and my Cash App is in my video description. I never tell you what to donate. Donate according to how you've been impacted. Understand that your donations continue to help me to elevate, grow, and move forward and keep this content coming, okay? As I give you this best game that's out there on YouTube. I know I'm spitting the best shit. As I continue, you can position me to continue to give you the best so we all benefit, okay? Make your donations. My PayPal, my Cash App information, it's in my video description. I want you all to step up and I want you all to donate. If you're in need of coaching, if you have different challenges, frustrations, impediments in the dating space, circular motions that you're unable to overcome because you can't reach that breakthrough of getting the experience that you want with women, I'm your dating coach. Whatever situation that you're in, I can get you out of it and I can bring you to a breakthrough. Okay, get that 1 hour coaching session with me and you're going to experience a breakthrough. You're going to have clarity and you're going to be positioned to get the outcomes that you want in the dating space. If you're in need of coaching, email me at matt@matthewchorne.com. The coaching is the subject matter of the email. The body of the email, you leave your name, your phone number, and whatever issues that you're facing in the dating space. And then I'm going to read your email, assess it, email you back with the terms of the coaching. You accept the terms, we set a date and time, and the coaching will commence. Your breakthrough is on the other side of a coaching session with me. Get your coaching, Matt at matthewchorne.com. I'm still looking to fill the slots of the 5 individuals who want to get a year-long coaching journey with me, the mentorship journey. If you want year-long mentorship with me, this is what it looks like. You want to get 3 coaching calls every week. Very intense coaching. You're going to have 24-hour access to me as well. In between the coaching sessions, you can be in any situation with any woman, and I can talk you through it, and I can get you to the other side that's going to land in a favorable outcome for you. I'm your dating coach for an entire year. So also, no matter where you are in the world, we're going to meet up in person, and I'm going to coach you in person at least one time. That's why I can only take on 5 people. This is very nuanced, and I'm giving a lot of bandwidth to these 5 individuals. I'm going to assess exactly where you are, and I want to see where you want to be, and I want to create custom curriculum and coaching for every individual who fills the 5 slots of the custom coaching that I have designated for 5 individuals. So in order to get this coaching from me, this year-long mentorship journey, you have to email me at matt@matthewchorne.com. Leave mentorship in the subject matter of the email. In the body of the email, you leave your name, you leave your phone number, you tell me exactly where you are in the dating space and where you want to be. I'll do an assessment, and then once I present the term to you and accept them, then I want to begin creating the custom curriculum that's tailored to you, just for you. The very first coaching call, you're going to experience breakthroughs. Just imagine spending a year of your life with me as your dating coach. You'll never be the same. Every expectation that you have will be surpassed, and you're going to be in a realm that you never imagined that you would exist in. You're going to be vicious. You're going to be unstoppable. All right, reach out to me for your year-long mentorship and coaching. Lastly, my dating coach community on a school platform, I want everyone to sign up. In my school community, my dating coach community, I give 2 custom videos that are not on YouTube every week. I drop those in the community. I give those to the members of the community. I allow members of the community to give me topics that they want me to make custom videos on, and I drop them right in the community. In addition to that, once a week, every Monday night, Eastern Standard Time, I have a live right in school for everyone that's in the community. And the members that want to jump on, they jump on with me. I do a monologue on a particular topic, and then we discuss the topic. The members of the community can ask me whatever they want to ask me about the topic. Once we finish with that, then I'm yours for the remainder of the hour. You have an entire hour to ask me anything that you want to ask me. And you're going to get your custom coaching right there in the community. Everybody gets their questions answered, just like that. Every live that I've had with the members of the community is archived in the community. You can go back and watch it. Every custom video that I've made for the community is archived as well. There's dozens of videos that you can binge, you can grow, you can elevate, you can become an unstoppable man who gets the exact outcomes that you want with women in the dating space if you join my dating coach community. Okay, I want everyone to sign up. The link to sign up will be in the video description. I've enjoyed spending some time with you all tonight, and understand that I hope that I clearly articulated and communicated what it takes to become the actual sex symbol as a man versus the man who projects himself and who's pretending to be a sex symbol. It's 2 completely different realities. One is circular, one is entrenched in frustration, one is dangerous. Because if you're pretending, that means that you don't love yourself. And when you don't love yourself, women understand that and they take advantage of those men. And the outcomes are dismal. As opposed to the man that loves himself, presents himself as nothing other than himself. And women recognize the magnitude of that man, and they don't play with that man. That man has a mindset of she's on board or she's in the way of every great thing that I have at my disposal. Those are 2 very distinct men. I hope you got the message, and I'll be back with you all very soon.